And good afternoon, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. This is the 29th edition of Manoa Valley Theater Live. I got to thank James Mars, by the way, for that awesome intro music thing that he probably just made up on the fly. Anyway, my name is Devin Nicoba. I am your host for the show, and I'd like to welcome in Mr. Kip Wilborn, our Executive Director for Manoa
Hey,
Valley Theater. How are you,
how
sir?
how you doing? Everything
We
all
picked
right?
the we picked the wrong day to wear like dark shirts. Dude, it's hot.
No, yeah, right. Actually, this room's air conditioned, so I'm okay.
Oh, they're fine. Great. Okay, rub it in. Sure. All right.
So listen about thanking Maris again or Maris. If we keep doing that because we've thanked him a bunch of times, he's going to
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
difficult the next time we work with him. So we just be
No,
careful.
we just say, James, we mentioned you so many times. You got to do something else for free for us. Come on, man.
So speaking of that, I mean,
Yes.
I was getting a haircut this morning, and who was on the radio? I was listening to you guys. It was
Oh,
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah.
You
I said,
didn't
"Oh my
you didn't
God,
yell out, change
Kevin
it,
Amell."
change it.
Well, yeah, I did, but a
I'm
little
gonna see
late.
that guy today. Forget it. Never mind.
So where can people hear you on a regular basis?
They can check us out on the regular radio, 94.7. You can also go to kumu.com. We also have an app. So we have a free app, actually. That's Android and Apple, or iTunes, rather,
Fancy.
ready. And then if you've got one of those fancy schmancy Amazon devices, you can just say, Alexa, play 94.7 Kumu. And boom, there you go.
Oh yeah, there you
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
there
It took them like 2 months to get that set up too. So I'm glad
No.
they got it right.
Well, listen, it's been a good week at the theater. At the theater, it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
We've got we're just kind of, it's an opportunity to do some stuff that we normally don't get to do in the theater. Because everybody's being careful and everybody's staying home. But today was not a great day on the cases. We had 155
Yeah.
cases, and we had 109 in Oahu. And if you remember, we've got to have an average, 7-day average, under 100. But right now our
Right.
average is 76. So we've got a little room there. And
Yeah.
the positivity rate has to be under 5%, and it's been 3.3%. So we're on our way. No, that's good.
Okay.
We're on our
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to tier 2, which is important because that's when the theaters, the live theaters like us, and those kind of theatrical venues and arts venues can begin to open. It's great distancing. Groups of 5 distanced from the next group and from the same
Yeah.
household, of course. So
Yeah, right.
only households of 5 are allowed at the theater. All right, enough of that.
Okay. So, as far as how MVT is preparing for that, I'm sure there are all these plans in place, but is it just we're going to rope an area off, or
We've gone through the whole thing. One thing, we have created a safety guide that really steps through every little detail of what we're doing, both for our volunteers and also for our audience members. And so that it will be on our website, should be this week, and you can check it out there and peruse it. And it's really good. So we're being very careful. Now, one thing we're going to have to do is, for the shows, is before each show, we have this electrostatic cleaner. We're going to have to clean all of the chairs, all of the arms, wipe down all the arms of the chairs, the backstage, the dressing rooms. So it's going to be we're going to be very careful because your health and safety, those of you, not yours, Devin, but our audience members, that's our primary focus right now. Because it's a tough time. So, and masks may be required, and we're not going to have any concessions. We're just going to have, so mask has to be on the whole time you're on our campus. So anytime, once you walk on and come inside, and we will enforce it. Just to let you know, this is not a suggestion. Because we've got to be careful and protect each other. So that's what it's about. All right, so
sounds good.
What's going on in the world this weekend? TAG, that's coming up. TAG will open a virtual Whodunit on November 12th. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later, but really kind of looking forward to that one. And Lovey Lee at Kumu, this is their last weekend, and I really encourage you, if you haven't seen it, go to Kumu's website, get a link. It's only $15, and watch it. It's really good. Moses Goods did a fantastic job on the script, and then Reiko Ho directed it, and she was great.
That's my peeps right there. Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
awesome.
right. Again, we have our own virtual event coming up on November 20th, Manoa Marquee, virtually yours. Mm-hmm. And we're looking forward to that. Amy Hanaiali'i will be doing a number for us, as well as the Lili'u project, and then we'll have the casts of Once and of Desperate Measures. So it should be a lot of fun. There'll be a silent auction and those kind of things as you normally have. But we're really looking forward to it. And remember, this is to help us. This is kind of our COVID relief fund. We need to make it through this time, because on the other side, when we all can get back together, we're going to need the arts. We're going to need the symphony. We're going to need the theater. We're going to need the opera. And so I encourage you to support all of those things and support your local businesses, because we're going to need restaurants too. And they're really hurting. They're the same boat as we are. So, I'm a broken record on this thing.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I guess
repeat it as many times as you can.
You all recognize this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a ballot.
Oh yeah.
That's a ballot. So, it's important. Don't think that your voice is not heard. I mean, the only way your voice is heard is if you vote. Regardless of who you vote for, you got to vote, because no vote, no grumble. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can grumble, but we're not going to listen to you, so it's fine.
No vote, no grumble. Auntie says.
There you go.
All right, we got a couple of great guests today, and looking forward to it. And all right, Devin.
No, sir. Let's get underway. Get these people in here.
Sir is my dad.
Thank you, Kit.
All right, just saying.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Kip Wilborn, our Executive Director for MVT. All right, let's get on with the show, because we have two amazingly talented people who've been doing this for just a little while. And again, we've been so lucky to have these people come on that have so many credits that it would take me the entire show to just do their credits. So I'm going to just give you a quick little thing here, because the first one I want to introduce is Betty Burdick. She's our first guest. She's a teacher, director, and actor who's been involved in many MVT productions over the years. She's appeared in MVT productions including Death Trap, Wit, and To Kill a Mockingbird, just to name a few. Directing credits at MVT include Over the River, Through the Woods, Dividing the Estate, and Of Mice and Men. We welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Betty Burdick. Hi, Betty.
Hey, Devin. How nice to see you.
I know, it's good to see you too. I haven't. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to work with you yet, but everyone speaks so highly of you. I'm like, man, I gotta get her to cast me in a show.
I will be happy to cast you in a show.
So, Betty, can we get a little bit of your background? Like, how did you get here?
Well, I actually grew up in Hawaii, and then left for 30 years. I went around the mainland, acting and supporting my acting habit by doing temporary clerical work. So I've been a gypsy and been in Oakland, Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Paul, New York City, and I was 8 years in New York City and finally went, I'm not cut out for this. I think I'll teach instead. And,
was it during a particularly cold New York winter where you went, I'm out of here?
It was during a particularly hard New York year. This was in the 80s, so I was losing friends.
Oh.
And and I decided to apply to several colleges, and I went, why don't I apply to UH? That'll be fun. And they were the first people to offer me money. So I went, oh my goodness, I haven't been back there in 30 years. I'm going back there. And I went, well, I'll just be there for a few years and then I'll come back to the mainland. And yeah, that didn't happen. So
Well, yeah, I mean, just out of curiosity, I mean, how does you had such a nomadic lifestyle? I mean, acting in there, all these different places. What was it? I mean, did you just turn around one day and go, "Oh my gosh, I've been here in Hawaii like 20 years, 30 years teaching and whatnot." You know what I
well,
mean?
I got my degree, and at the same time that I got my degree, I got married to a local boy.
Ah,
And
that's how we get you every time. When we
yeah,
don't want you to leave, that's how we get you. We send you a local boy. We make sure you marry him, and then that's it.
his family is here, so we stayed. I did apply to jobs on the mainland for a while and had no luck with that. And was able to get good jobs teaching here at HPU and Leeward Community College. So here we are, and my husband teaches at Kaimaki High School.
It's amazing.
So, yeah,
Now, and you just recently retired, right, from Leeward
I
Community
I
College?
sure did. Not a moment too soon either.
Don't sound so happy, but
I retired in June. I
okay.
finished out the semester on Zoom, and including a production of Hamlet,
Oh my gosh.
which
What was okay? Tell me what that was like. What was that like?
it was really good up until spring break when they said, yeah, you're not coming back. So we had to switch to Zoom, and that was challenging for all of us. I was fortunate that Camden in the IT department at Leeward helped us with the recording and cleaned it up, because it was a mess. None of us really knew what we were doing. The actors did well, but it was Hamlet on Zoom, so it was very challenging. It was
Well,
very
especially
challenging.
because Leeward, you just got that brand new theater.
Yeah.
That beautiful brand new theater, right? And you're like, yeah, I can. Oh man, I can't. Okay, fine, whatever. Right? I can't even imagine what that must have been like. Now,
It was something.
now you also work a lot with TAG, of course, with MVT as well. And do you notice a difference when you're directing for a larger stage versus these intimate settings? Do you prefer one over the other?
I prefer the intimate settings. The larger settings are fun, and you can do shows that won't work in the smaller theaters. But I do prefer working in the smaller theaters. It's more theatrical. You're right there with the audience. There's no place to hide. You can do. I think you can do a wider range of things. I tend to be very theatrical myself, but I had to push my students on the big stage at Leeward to get big.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I know that I worked with Kumu Kahua, and to have the audience 4 feet from you while you're trying to do this really emotional scene it was terrifying for me. So, just out of curiosity, as a director, like how do you get brand new actors to push past that? Is there a trick? Is there a trick that you use, or you just go, just so you know, somebody's sitting right there, so you're just gonna have to do this?
It's interesting. They have handled it. We of course have previews, so that they have, and text, so that they have audiences and realize how close people are. I can't remember any students new to the theater totally freezing up in the performance. I make sure they're well rehearsed before they get on stage. I had longer rehearsals at Leeward than I do in the community theaters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you do have to alter your directing style a little bit. I mean,
definitely. There's because I'm with. I of course had a core of alumni that often came back for the fall shows, and some strong actors in the classes as well. But I would still have to teach while I was directing, whereas usually with community theater, I don't have to do that. I say, here's your part, do it, memorize your lines. And our pool of actors is strong enough that I don't have to do much. So that's fun. Of course, the upcoming show is another new experience for all of us. So
Right. Exactly.
that'll be interesting.
Now, it's been a little bit since you've performed. What's going to get you back on stage and performing?
Well, I have the time now. The last show I performed was a year ago, I think, for Hawaii Shakespeare. I was in their Ibsen show, and yeah, it doesn't take much to get me on stage. At this point, I have more trouble with memorization than I used to, but yeah, I still want to be on stage. So
Okay.
yeah, now that I'm retired, it won't take anything to get me back on stage once we can get back on stage.
Right, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
Betty, I've been wanting to speak to an acting teacher about this. All right. What is the secret to the memorization thing? I'm finding as I get older, it just doesn't, like, I lose the hard drive isn't there anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
it's not.
I'm losing capacity. So, I mean, are there
Yeah.
tricks that you could tell me?
As I've gotten older, because when I was young, I could memorize without any problem at all.
Mhm,
It was,
mhm.
I'd look at the page and it would be there.
Right.
As I've gotten older, I'd found that playing around with the script, using images for each word, singing the script, dancing the script, just finding different ways to get it in there.
Whatever makes it stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even, yeah.
Okay, so in line with that, how did you do Happy Days? Because basically you were buried up to your neck in sand. You know what I mean? Like, you can't dance that. You're in up to your neck in sand for 2 hours. I mean, how was that to memorize?
Happy, I'm a moving memorizer. So I would record it, record the cues and have the actual script in my pocket and go for a walk and listen to the cues and memorize the lines and do it that way. And I'm fortunate enough to have at home someone who is willing to run lines with me, and he is tough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's helpful. I can't mess up at all. He's on it, and so that was how I memorized, with help from him and listening to the cues and going for walks.
So the key is to marry a man who does what you tell him to do.
That is
basically is that the secret?
It. That's the secret.
Okay. That is good information. I'll be sure to ask my wife whether that's what she's done. I'm really not sure. Betty, thank you so much. Did you want to mention anything about TAG before we?
Oh yes, our virtual whodunit, coming up on November 12th. It is a very silly, fun show with the audience helping us figure out who done it. Come see it. I have the habit of saying, come see it. Get on your Zoom and watch it. The characters are very broadly drawn. The primary character, who's a detective, thinks he's Sam Spade, kind of, that he's in a film noir. But the play was written for Zoom. It was written to be done on Zoom in 2020. So.
Okay. So, cool.
Yeah. So
looking forward to that.
Good.
You know, it's one of the cool things about TAG. You guys are always sort of on the leading edge of all these things,
yes,
as far as getting shows done and producing shows. So kudos to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Betty Burdick. Betty, we're going to see you in just a little bit, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Devin.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. Okay. Before we move on to Mr. Brad Powell, I would like to remind you that if you could do a little donation, that'd be really cool. The information that's scrolling across the bottom over here. Everyone's hurting, but the theater, we can't do anything without you. So if you can help us, we would love to keep you entertained throughout this weird time that we are dealing with. All right. It is time for me to introduce Mr. Brad Powell. He is our next guest. He is a Pierre Bowman Award recipient and theater veteran here in Hawaii. And I'm going to get into a second how theater veteran he is. He's a director, choreographer, actor, and artistic director at TAG, the Actors Group. At MVT, he's directed a number of shows, including Pageant, Liz Estrada Jones, Smokey Joe's Cafe, as well as Lisa Matsumoto's Once Upon Another Time and Happily Ever After, which have a very special place in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to MVT Live, Mr. Brad Powell. Brad.
Hi, Devin. How are you?
I'm good, sir. It's nice to see you.
Same here.
It's I have to say though, it's a little weird not to see you without your glasses. I'm used to the glasses, so you know.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, you got him. You got okay. He's almost never without these glasses, y'all. So just so okay, there we go. Okay. So now we can continue with the interview. It's good. Brad, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing? What brought you to Hawaii? All that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, I was born and raised in Pocatello, Idaho, and I went to the university in Provo, Utah, BYU. When I graduated from there, I went directly from there to Kauai, and I taught drama and theater on the island of Kauai at Kauai High School. And I got married in between my first and second year of living on Kauai. So we were there for 3 years, and we looked at each other and said, holy mackerel, this is like paradise. We should be retired now. We're just getting started. So I transferred to Farrington so that I could get back into the real world. And I was at Farrington for 6 years. I taught in Massachusetts, Framingham North High School in Massachusetts. Loved living there. Got to go to Harvard and see all the crap there. And I was able to direct in the community theaters in Massachusetts and stuff. But I was only there for 1 year, so I had to come back to Hawaii. That was part of our agreement. I was on a teacher exchange. I went at that school, and that drama teacher came to Farrington and taught in my place for 1 year.
Oh, so, nice.
And then after that, I went directly into television. And so for 21 years, I was the executive producer for educational television with the Department of Education.
That's amazing. Quite a journey, right? Yeah. By the way, Kip is backstage asking about the glasses, and I'm like, I really don't know. All I know is all the years that I've known Brad, he always wears the glasses. They're different colors. They're kind of funky. He would show up in New Woods, and we'd go, where did you get these glasses from? It's like his trademark now. One of the other things that you're trademarked for is you're working with TAG, which you've been with since 1989. Can you tell people a little bit more about the Actors Group and stuff like that?
Oh, I'd love to, because TAG has become a huge part of my life, which I never expected. I retired from television very young. I was still in my 50s. And so I was ready to go on to something else. But before I did that, I went to the Hilton Hawaiian Village, and I was in charge of their entertainment for 10 years. And overlapping that, my son, Michael Powell, and his partner, John Brecky, they had a studio in Kaka'ako, the Yellow Brick Studio. And Eric Nimoto, who was the founder and is the president of TAG, he was teaching classes there. And at one point, they had been doing mostly original stuff for, an audience of 5 or 6 people. And so they wanted to expand. So my son said, well, let me ask my dad, and he'll come direct a play for you. And that's what I did. So it was very successful. We got both of the reviewers to come, and they raved. And so I told Eric, you really should get a nonprofit license, join the Hawaii State Theater Council so you can start winning awards, and then people will start coming. And that's basically what happened. We did that, and the very first year that we were eligible, we won 3 po'okeles. And then over the years, we worked up to the point of one year, I think we got 18 awards, which for our little theater was amazing. But TAG has always been devoted to trying to do the stuff that is available for small, intimate theaters. We moved in Kaka'ako, our big seating was 25 people, or if we squeezed them in, it was 30. And I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see me.
You do what you got to do. Don't worry about it.
We went from Kaka'ako, we went to Chinatown for 3 years. We revamped the whole area and did some really fun stuff there, but it just still wasn't right. And so we started looking around and we found Dole. Unfortunately, it was no bigger than Chinatown, but we decided, well, we'll go with it anyway. And we have now been at Dole for 10 years and just doing really well. Castle and Cook have been wonderful.
By the way, in that whole story, he never mentioned anything about the fact that they named a theater after him, but that's okay. You're so humble about that stuff. It's awesome. Anyway, I'll just throw that out there because you never mentioned that, which I mean, I guess is part of your charm because you're humble. You just go, there's this theater, and everybody's like, it has his name on it. When you go into the theater, it says Brad Powell Theater. Just so we're clear on this.
As my sister said when she found out about that, I thought you were supposed to be dead, and so I don't want people to think I'm dead. So I don't talk about it too much.
So, Brad, one of the cool things about working with you, just for your edification, I mean, Brad and I worked on Once Upon a Time at the time and also on Happily Ever After. And, before you came in, in fact, there's Brad looking at me as I'm trying to fix, I think that's Kenny's shirt because his something went wrong with his costume. We were right in the middle of rehearsals. But, one of the things that struck me when I worked with you was that, when they told us who you were and like all the stuff that you'd achieved, we went, okay, well, he's done kind of a lot of stuff. And, and then you came in and you're like, hey, how's it going, everybody? And you were the most friendly guy. You weren't super, aggro at us or any of that kind of stuff. And is that something that you've developed? Is it the way to break the ice for you?
Well,
is that just
me? I think. With that, without you, I couldn't have done those shows. So I had to be nice to you. You had to help me with everything that needed to be done. You know what it was like when I tried to top the pigeon. It was a disaster. So,
this is true.
I had a lot of help, but I love that show, and I love working at Manoa Valley. Some of my most enjoyable experiences have been doing shows there. Smokey Joe's Cafe.
No, that was amazing.
So much fun, and working was an incredible achievement.
Right.
And then the basketball show.
This is Strata Jones. Yeah, I saw that one too. That was
much fun doing that.
Yeah.
So that's where all of my fun has been. When I go to TAG, I have to become more serious because we don't do musicals, and that's the way I was raised. I was raised on musicals, and the thing I like to do most, of course, is choreography. So that's that. I missed that, but thanks to Manoa Valley, I've been able to do it all the time. We've still been doing the straight shows at TAG.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's interesting to know the fact that you split. I guess you have to kind of split your brain a little bit because directing a play versus directing a musical, I mean, it's two very different skill sets. I would think, right?
Oh yeah, they're totally different. And Manoa Valley is still an intimate theater, but it's a lot bigger than TAG. And so we had that, the big stage, and the ones we did with you were at Kaimuki. So I had this huge, wonderful stage. Same thing. I do enjoy working at Chaminade with Brother Gary, where we have Mamiya Theater. That's fun. I've done that for many years with him. And HPU, again, a small theater. So I've kept jumping back and forth between Intimate and Lodge. And I did a lot of work in Los Angeles, directing, but mostly musicals.
Well, and I had a question about musicals as far as directing them. When you get a script and you know that you're going to have to produce a musical, like Lysistrata Jones, for example, or Smoky Joe's Cafe, do you think about the musical components of it first and then the staging components? Do you try to look at it in its entirety? I mean, how do you put it together? Because it's such a big meal. You know what I mean?
Well, the wonderful thing about doing a musical is that there is usually 3 people involved: the director, music director, and the choreographer. Mostly when I direct, especially at Manoa, I do both the directing and the choreography. And that's what I love to do, because then there's no discussion. You don't have to try to please the director, because I'm always fighting with myself anyway. So I really like it like that. But on the other hand, when I work with either Joyce Maltby or Brother Gary, I pull back and I only think about the choreography. I don't think about any of the other stuff, like blocking and that stuff. Unless I'm asked. But it's not an easy thing. It's 2 completely different styles. And CAG has given me the opportunity to do, to do the kind of theater that is really challenging. Because to me, it's a lot harder to do a straight play than it is to do a musical. Because you have a music director who teaches them the songs, gets them all going on that part of the show.
Okay. So, and I know you've done this for just a little while. So I was just curious. I mean, do you have a dream role? Do you have a dream show that you'd like to do?
Not really. I have done, as an actor, nearly all of the dream shows that I ever wanted to do.
Wow.
I was fortunately to do a professional equity production of Oklahoma, where I played Will. And I did another professional show, and then I also did it at Army Community Theater. I played Harry Berlin in Love, L-U-V, which is one of the most enjoyable plays I've ever done. It is so funny. And I did Harry at Diamond Head Theater in A Time of Your Life. And then Gangster number 2 in Kiss Me Kate was a dream at
cool.
HPU. So,
okay.
And then with Death of the
You've done it all then.
Yeah, I've done the ones that I really wanted to. There's a couple that I would like to, but now I'm way too old.
Me too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Mr. Brad Powell for being with us today. Thank you very much. I just realized I'm looking at the time on my timer that I have and the time on the watch that I have, and they're 2 completely different times, which is why Kip is going, dude, we got to go.
Wrap it up.
So I know. So let's bring back Kip and let's bring back Betty, please. Hi guys, sorry about that. I warned you, Kip. We got royalty over here. I'm gonna
listen. It was fascinating. You didn't have to call me out like that, though.
It's all right. You're the executive director. It's what you do. You know what I mean?
Hey, so right, I'm the executive director. So I'm going to ask Brad. So what is the deal with the glasses?
Do you really want to know?
No, I'm just asking it rhetorically. Yes, I do.
This is what I used to wear. And because I have to have bifocals, these glasses were so little, I was constantly going like this, trying to find the bifocal. So when I got these, I said, I want the biggest bifocal I can have. And with this one, I have no trouble finding it.
Fantastic.
I'm right there.
Okay.
Everybody makes fun of me but I love them because I.
Oh man, it's your look, man. It's your thing.
It is his trademark. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They should put those on the thing on the thing where it says Brad Paul Theater.
The logo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it should be part of the
Yeah.
logo, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, for real.
You'll have to talk to Eric about that.
Well, Kip, thank you so much for letting me go over my time. I apologize, but it was awesome to talk to Betty and Brad today.
Yeah,
And thank you so much, audience, for being with us. Please, if you get a chance,
Donate. Donate. We love
donate,
Manoa Valley
donate.
Theater. Donate.
Yes. And don't forget to check out Tag and their new show that they're going to be doing, because it's going to be great. That murder mystery thing sounds cool, man. Yeah, there it is. The Whodunit. That sounds awesome. So I can't wait to see it myself. All right.
Well, thank you, Devin and Kip. We really had fun. And I do hope they definitely donate, because Tag doesn't really have a problem because we don't have staff and stuff like that like you guys do. But Manoa Valley does need the help. And I hope that everybody will get in there.
But
Okay.
you know what? Nonetheless, support Tag.
Oh, yeah, please.
Zoom the show.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. All right. Thank you so much for watching us on this Aloha Friday. We'll be back with our 30th show. Dude, 30th show.
Wow.
Brad, Betty, Kip, the other Brad. That's actually what his name is now. Now that we have Brad Powell here. We have the other Brad. We have Kristen. We have Andrew as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We will see you next week for more MVT Live. Aloha.